Express students, Mrs. Janowski here with another science and mindfulness lesson. So this lesson is a popcorn lesson. And first we're going to start with the science part of it, and then I'll talk to you about how we're going to turn that into a mindfulness lesson. So when we pop popcorn, first we're going to look at the physical properties of both the kernel and the popcorn at the end. So a little comparing and contrasting. Physical properties are measurable qualities of an object, and they are observable within a system. So for instance, if we looked at a kernel of popcorn, I just have one here. Y'all know what that looks like, right? It's hard. I just dropped it. It's okay. It's small. There's other things that are hard and small as well. Maybe a tiny little pebble, and then things that are just hard and then just small that might not also fit both categories. But it's hard and small, right? Those are the two. And also, it's a golden color looking, really. That's another property. Okay. To make it into popcorn, we have to use heat energy. So heat energy is resulted from increased movement within an object. And so it can be the movement of the atoms, the molecules, or the ions. We are going to be using air. I have an air popper here. The heat in the air is energy that's in motion. And air really can't be seen so much, like air itself can't be seen, but it can be seen indirectly. So you know the air is moving when you see leaves on a tree flapping up and down. You know air is moving when you see seeds being scattered or dust blowing across, right? So we can feel air and we can see it indirectly, but when we look, we can't see the actual air itself. So that's interesting, right? And then the motion of it is going to help, the heat and the motion of the air is going to help popcorn. And really the property that's happening here in the scientific world is called thermodynamics. So that is the physical property of an object being changed when heat is applied. So we know that when we have a kernel and when we add that heat, it's going to turn into popcorn. That is thermodynamics. We apply heat to the kernel and it changes form into something totally else. Okay, so let's get the experiment started. In my air popper, and I highly suggest if you have an air popper at home, go ahead and do this after you're done watching this. It'll be fun. I'm going to measure out my popcorn. I'm going to try not to make a mess and put it in my air popper. And then set that on top so it doesn't go in the wrong way. It's supposed to shoot out this chute. I have to turn it on. So you're going to hear it starting. It's kind of loud. And what's happening is it's creating heat and air. The air is being heated and it's starting to move around the kernels. You really can't see it from your position, but you can hear it. Keep listening for it. It's going to be a little while. Let's employ some breaths. How many deep breaths will it take for the first piece of popcorn to come out? So at your own space and time, I'm just going to inhale. Watch my shoulders. And exhale. You'll be able to count with me and do it with me if you're watching my shoulders. Inhale. There's only 2 deep breaths so far. How many breaths will it take? The first one popped. So that was only 40 breaths. That's not that far. So now they're going to start to come faster, I think. Oh, I've got to move that in a little. It's missing the bucket. Keep watching because the more they get topped, then you'll start to see them come in the bucket. Oh, it smells really good. Life that we can learn just by watching. Okay, all my popcorn is popped. It's in the bowl. We got a huge bowl. Let's bring this down to why I want to associate this with mindfulness other than the senses. I'm going in a different direction with this one today. Okay, the heat was a transfer of energy from one object to another object. So, oh, look at my dog stole it. He is so naughty. That's cabbage. So the heat came from the machine that produced the heat, and it transferred it into the popcorn, and then the thermodynamics happened because when the kernel had been applied enough heat, it turned into popcorn, right? So the popcorn kernel is a representation of us, who we are. It is full of potential. But when we stay hard, like the shell, and we don't let people in, we choose to have a fixed mindset, hard mind, and not be open-minded, we're not able to be our best selves. So that's what the kernel is representing. Us being kind of closed off to kindness. We all have a lot of potential in us, but we don't want to let other people in, or we don't want to try new experiences. We're not really becoming our best possible selves. The airflow that happens, okay, that air energy that pushes the kernels, they push the kernels into each other, and that by them being pushed into each other, they have to make contact. They're bumping into each other. If you have a air popper at home, you would watch that. You would be able to see them actually popping into each other before they pop out. Well, the air reminds me of our activities and the groups that we belong to, because the activities that we do and the groups that we belong to force us to make connections with each other, right? So even if not everybody in your classroom is your favorite person ever, you still have to interact with them. You're in the same room all day long. You're still interacting with your family whom you live with because you're forced to be together in your house. So that is just like life. When we're with people and we're in activities, we are forced to kind of come together there. And then the heat. The heat is like kindness. Okay, when we show kindness or when other people give us kindness, it changes us. It allows us to be our best possible selves. We pop into the best version of ourselves when we're kind and we let other people be kind to us. So if we stay hard, we stay in our shell, we don't pop into our best possible self. But if we're kind, we apply that heat, and we're aware of other people's kindness, then we actually become the best versions of ourselves, and we pop into something way more delicious. What can you do today that is kind? And how can you be the best version of yourself? Thank you for joining me for Science and Mindfulness.